programs, Moon, Sun, and Galaxy. So for the Moon programs, with the current versions, we are having 6 levels, right? So you have Moon 1 until Cambridge 2. But from June, we will design it again. So from the upgrade versions, we will group 2 levels into one. So as you can see, teachers, on the screen, that so Moon 1, Moon 2 with the current versions from June will be Moon 1. Yeah, the same with Moon 3 and 4, it will be Moon 2, and Cambridge 1, 2 will be Moon 3. So we also group the durations. So at the moment, we have 4 months and a half for one level of Moon, but from June, we will have 9 months. Yeah, so that is the first change. The next one is about the book. This one is quite important because Moon 2 now we teach them with Ferris wheel 1. But when we group the levels, it will be different. And it might be a confusion for you guys when they give you classes or they change the class code from June. So please remember for Moon 1, it will be Ferris wheel 1. Moon 2, Ferris wheel 2. And from now, the number of the book will be the same with the number of the levels. Yeah. So for all classes at the moment, we will not have any change. But from June, if we have new classes or if we have new class upgrade to the next level, it will have the change. It will have the update. Yeah. So that is about the moon. Please remember, we group 2 levels into one. Yeah. Oh, for one location, Quang Trung, we cannot hear you. Okay, em làm việc với anh Siêu. Okay, so next one is the Sun program. So in Sun program, we say welcome to the new level, teachers. We have Sun Foundation. So what is the meaning of this level? So here, at the current versions, we just have Sun starters and Sun level 1 until level 6, right? So from now, we will have Sun Foundations, and the duration is 12 months. So, which kind of student in this level? So, for Sun Foundations, we will have the student and they are beginners, they are weak student, like Sun starters. But the thing is, they are older a little bit. Like for Sun Foundations, we will have the students they are around 9 to 10 years old. We don't have under 9 years old student at this level. And for some starters, it will be for the student, they are from 5 to 8. So you can see on the screen here, this is my note. So before we let the student, they are weak student, 5 years old and 10 years old learn together. But we realize there is a problem about the age and the activities. So that's why I need to design another level and only for 9 to 10 years old student and they are weak. So from June, the school they will start getting new students, and I believe that they will have this class for you guys in the futures because we have many weak students. Sorry. Okay, because we have many weak students at this age, and I believe that when I design this level, they will open this class very soon. Yeah, so that is about the Sun Foundations level. Then here about the book. So we don't have any change for books from Sun Starter to Sun 6. We add the information about the Sun Foundations here. So you can see in Sun Foundations, they learn Kisbok 1 and Kisbok 2. And for each book, they will learn in 6 months for this level. Yeah. For all the level here, for Sun Starters until Sun 6, we still keep the duration in 9 months and we still keep the material, which is Kisbox. Yeah. And for the extra book, there is no change. Yeah. Thank you. Now, for the Galax. So for the Galax programs, we don't have any change, but we add. So we add some foundations. So I think most of the teachers here, we have, sorry, uh, yeah, uh, I believe that all of the teachers in our system, we have Galaxy starters, right? And I've got many feedback from all the teachers that there are some weak students, they cannot learn Galaxy starters. Yeah, I check and I agree with that. So at the beginning, we designed Galax program, Galax starters, to learn in 9 months. And when I received the feedback that the Vietnamese students they cannot adapt 9 months durations, I extend to 12 months. And when I extend to 12 months, I still have the feedback that Galax students they cannot learn in 12 months with this book. From that reason, from that feedback, I decided to add some foundations for really weak student at the secondary level. So you can see that from now some when you have a Galaxy student, if they are too weak, especially when you do the placement test, you can bring them to some foundations. And you can see for the materials, sorry, the materials, the weak student in Galaxy, they will start from Kissbox 1, which is Sun 1. Yeah. So here is the upgrade versions. Yeah, we will have two options for weak student. Option 1, Sun Foundations, really weak. Option 2, Galaxy starters. Yeah. So that is about the Galaxy. And here, this is the overview of our English program teachers. So I can explain to you one by one here. So here is the Kingdom. Yeah, for Moon. And you can see from now, we don't have 6 levels. We just have 3 levels, Moon 1, Moon 2, and Moon 3. And then we have primary. We have 8 levels. We have Sun Foundations and Sun Starter here. So next one is the secondary. This is the Sun Foundations. And then when they complete the Sun Foundations, they will continue to learn Galaxy Starters until Galaxy level 4. It's the same with the Sun programs. When they have the primary here, they will have the Sun Foundations here until Sun 3, Sun 4, Sun 5, and 6. So that is about the program. And on the right side here is the international curriculum like CEFR, Cambridge, IELTS. So you can see. Yeah. So teachers, do you have any questions about the Moon, Sun, and Galaxy upgrade?
No, everything is clear.
Thank you, Alex.
Everything's clear.
Thank you.
And actually, good suggestion to make Moon 3 levels. Make it keep it simple. Like I
Mm,
think it's better.
yeah. So at the moment, I think there are some students at Galaxy starters classes. The school will start thinking about they check the student in that class, and then they will pick up some student out to learn some foundations. And because I know that at the moment we are having some student at Galaxy starters and they cannot learn at that level. Yeah. So that is about the update.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you.
So, the difference between Sun Foundation 1 and Sun Foundation 2 is only the age of students, yeah?
The Sun Foundation and Sun starters. The difference is about the age.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I mean, a Sun Foundation in primary school and in the secondary.
Ah, actually, this is the same, teachers, Lisa. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I add it here because I want teachers to understand that, like, at this level, you can have the student from the primary and the secondary school. This is the only level we accept primary and student and secondary learn together. For other
Oh,
level, we split.
okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Okay. So that is about the upgrade. And these upgrade will apply from next month, teachers. So when you receive the information from the school, don't be surprised. Okay? Yeah. So that is about the upgrade in the programs. Now I want to talk about the second part. Yeah. So here we talk about the placement test. When we have some change in our program, the way we do the speaking test or the writing test, the placement test is different. So on the screen here, teachers, I mentioned again about the student age. So there are some new teachers in this training today, and there are some teachers I think we can review about the placement test in Army. So before you do the placement test, teachers, you need to choose the test for them. So how can you choose the test? So the answer is you need to find out the age of the student because in each programs we would have the different placement test. So if the student is 4 years old, you need to choose the moon placement test. The same like 7 years old, you need to choose sun. So there are some ages like this, 5.5 and 10.5. We need to check carefully. So how can we check that? For example, when you check the student age, you also need to check the month of their birthday. So for example, I will make an example like this. Now is May of 2025, right? And we have a student come to Army to do the placement test. So the student was born in June, May 2022. So my question is, how old is the student?
He's 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old. And you can see teachers, when the student is 5 years old, they need to do the moon placement test. They
Yes.
don't do the primary placement test because from primary, we just give them sun program when they are 5.5. And there are some teachers, they ask me about which one is the half. So you can know that 1 years will be 12 months, right? So that's why 0.5 here would be 6 months. And please note that. So for example, this term is May, and I have a student come to Army to do the speaking test. And the student was born in December 2024. Do you know how old is the student?
1.5.
Yeah, so at this age, the student is around 5.5. And this student is ready to learn in Sun. Yeah, so please be careful. And sometimes it would be like this. Sometimes we have some students, they was born around, they were born late. So May 2025, and now we have a student come to Army, and the student was born in December 2020. And if we just look at the year, I believe that we will think this student is 5 years old. But the thing is that it's not. This student is just around 4 years old. In this December, the student would be 5. So that is what I want to tell you, teachers. When you choose a test, please be careful with the date of birth of the student. Yeah, we need to check with the date of birth and the time they come to Army to do the speaking test. Is it clear? Okay, thank you. So that is about the placement test. Now, I want to go to the next one here. So there are some teachers, we do the placement test for Army student. And with the new programs, do we have any change? So the answer is in front of you here, teachers. We have no change in marking criteria, and we have no change in the picture for the speaking test. So for the criteria, the vocabulary and the pronunciations, yeah, is chosen. So if you ask them what is this, and they say book, you give them 1 point because the student know that word. And if you hear the answer and you feel that the pronunciation is clear, is good, you can add one more point. So the total point when you ask one word for Moon student would be 2. And please remember, we don't have 1.5, we don't have 0.5. we just have 1 or 0, okay? And here, the evaluation scale. So we don't have 6 level anymore. Now we just have 3. Yeah, so when you, after doing the speaking test with the Moon student, you will summarize the result and you can look at this table to write down the suitable level. Like if the student did do the speaking test and they've got 40 points, I would write down Moon 2, term A for them. Or 60 point, yeah, the same. Yeah. Next one, this is the pictures. Yeah, I cut from the Moon speaking test for you teachers, and this is one topic. There are 12 topics we need to ask Moon student, and this is the first topic. And you can see in one topic, I have 5 vocabulary. So in 5 vocabulary, we have one word, for example. So with this one, teachers need to say first, and then teachers will ask student the remains. For example, this is grandma. Who is this? Who is this? Yeah, and the questions below here is for this topic. So when you ask different topic, please don't forget to look at the question below here to ask the student. And I also have the backup question, teachers. So when you ask them who is this, but they don't react, they don't respond, or they don't know, you can use the backup questions. Like if I say who is this and student doesn't know, I can ask them, where is daddy? Where is mommy? And if they can point to the correct pictures, I can ask them to repeat and I can mark. So that is how we do. Yeah, for the Moon. And next one here, teachers, this is the marking sheet. And you can see when you do the speaking test for Moon student, don't forget to prepare the marking sheet because this one will be given to the parents. Yeah, and this one will have the suitable level of the student. Yeah, so V here is for vocabulary and P here is for pronunciation. So when you do the speaking test, if you ask one word, you can tick something like this. So when you tick like this, I will understand that this student has 1 point for vocabulary, but 0 point for pronunciations. Or for this word, yeah, this student has both V and P. So that is how you will do. Okay. And there is one thing, teachers, when you test Moon student, that they often be quiet when you ask, right? So if they often be quiet when you ask, tell them to repeat after you. And if they don't know the word, but they can repeat after you with the correct pronunciations, you still can give them pronunciation point. Yeah, that is what I mean. Sometimes they don't know the word, but they have good pronunciations. They still have the point. Yeah. And here on the right side, teachers, this is the comments. So we need your comments so we can talk to the parents about the speaking test. And you can see we also need to see the level you think which is suitable for the kids. Here. Yeah. So that is about the Moon placement test. Okay. So in general, we just have change in the evaluation scale here. Now, next one, I want to talk about the Sun. So in Sun's placement test, so before we told you guys that we have 2 tests in Sun program, but now we just have only one. We don't have 2 versions in Sun placement test anymore. We just have one. Yeah, for some new teachers, it can be a little bit new for you, but for some teacher who work for our army for a long time, I believe that you still remember we have 2 speaking tests in Moon, in Sun. From now, we don't. We just have one only. And for the marking criteria, we will have one more, which is the pronunciations. So vocabulary, 1 point. So for example is if you ask them a questions and they just say a single word, we give them 1 point. But if they have full sentences like "it's a book," or they say "I see a book." Any kind of sentence, they still have one more point. And the last one is the pronunciations. And the total point for one question in sun will be 3. Yeah. So that is about the sun. And in sun, we have two test format, speaking test and the writing test teachers. So foreign teachers or class managers will give student speaking test. And you just have 10 minutes for one student. Please remember, don't test too long and don't test too fast. Yeah, we have maximum 10 minutes for one student. For the writing test, they will do that in the computer and it will be an online test. And I have a note here, teachers. Sometimes when you do the speaking test for the kids, there are some weak students, they cannot answer the questions, right? So if you follow our instruction and you test them, and the result of the speaking test is under 7, you can skip the writing test. Like they don't need to do the writing. They just need to do the speaking if the result is under 7. Yeah. So here, this is the pictures. And I think if you know about the Cambridge exam or Cambridge standard, you can see that in part 1, this is the picture, the test pictures of starter level. Part 2, this is for the mover levels. And then part 3, this is the flyer part. So it will become harder and harder. So in part 3, please be careful because in this part, you need to tell your student to tell a story and you need to follow the format of Cambridge. So in Cambridge, they require teachers to guide the student with the first picture. And then you ask the student to tell a story from the second pictures. So you need to be careful with that. You don't tell them, hey, tell a story. No, we don't do that. You need to say something for the first picture. Then you guide them to tell from the second picture one. Okay? Yeah. So next one here, this is the marking sheet and the comments. So I want to highlight this part. Let's wait. Here, part 3. So teachers, in part 3, I already added the script for you. Like you don't need to think the script by yourself. I added for you. So you just need to say what I wrote here to the student. And then you will tell them to tell a story. Okay, like here. Nick and Anna are looking out of the classroom. Now you tell the story. And then for the story, I have 4 criteria for you to mark. Vocabulary in the story, grammar in the story, pronunciation, and the fluency. Yeah. So each criteria, I give you 1 point. And please remember, no 0.5, only 1 or 0. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
So, yeah. Yeah, teachers?
Excuse me, I just have something to add. As you have said now for the Cambridge frame,
Yeah.
so when we ask students to look at the pictures and tell the story, I think we should give them like 6 seconds. You ask the students to say, look at the pictures first for 6
Yes.
or 7 seconds. And then you say, now you tell the story because they cannot just say it directly. They need some look at the
Yeah,
pictures.
that's right, teachers. According to the Cambridge, we also give them a few seconds so they can think
Yes.
and they can start telling the story. Yeah. Thank
And
you, teachers.
as for
Yeah.
As for the timing, please. The timing, I think if we give like I don't know if we conduct the starters or movers or flyers. I think 10 minutes, it's too long for them. Because as I know that for the starters, minutes and flyers from 7 to 9 minutes. If you go
Yes.
with
Yeah. Thank you, teacher, for your confusions. Yeah, let me explain to you. So first, we have some warm-up question to add before we start the pictures. And sometimes we will have some good students, they join the test. So for good students, we often have to add extra questions to give them more challenge. And 10 minutes here is the maximum time. So like you don't need to fix 10 minutes for all the students. You just need
Yes.
to estimate your time because sometimes you will have 2 students or 3 students, or sometimes you have 5 students. They are waiting for the test. So that's why we need
Yeah.
to estimate. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So after the speaking test, we also need to write down the comments for them too. And please remember, if the speaking test result is under 7, we can skip the writing test. Yeah, thank you. And here is the pictures of the writing test. So we already prepared the writing test in Army's computers outside near the class manager's corner. So when they do that, if they need to do the writing test, teachers, you have to wait because we need to summarize speaking test and the writing test to find out the suitable level. Yeah. And here, this is the evaluation scale. So you can see here, I have the Vietnamese information here, so I add the English version here. So this is the summarization of speaking and writing. And in case they don't do the writing test because the result is too low, we just use the speaking test to check out the level. Yeah. So if the student, they are from 5.5 to 8, you follow this information here from Sun Starter to Sun 2B. If they are from 9 to 10 years old, we put them from Sun Foundations here. So it will depend on the student and teachers, and it's very important for you to remember this one because the school would look at the level you write down in the paper to talk to the parents. So this one is very important, and don't make wrong level for them because when the students they learn at the wrong level, it will be very hard for the teachers, to ensure or make sure the quality of the class. So I just have the difference when the students they are from 5 to 8 and 9 to 10 until Sun 2 and Sun Foundations. From Sun Level 3, they can learn together. Yeah. So that is about the difference in the Sun programs. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about Moon test and Sun test? I believe that most of the students you do the test will be Moon and Sun. Yeah. Okay, so I will go to the next part. It's about the galax. So for the galax, here we keep the marking criteria. So first, we have the vocabulary range for 1 point, grammar 1 point, pronunciations 1. And teachers, when we test galax student, it will be different a little bit because for the vocabulary here, it's not just about it's the book and they have a point. Because in Galax, we often give them some open questions like, can you introduce yourself? Or can you tell about your family? So when they introduce themselves, we need to check the vocabulary they use. Yeah, it's related to the topic questions or not. Yeah, and the grammar here too. They often have some mistake about the subjects, the verbs, something like that, and the tense. Yeah. Then we have the pronunciation, the same. So in Sun Foundations here, I added into the Galax programs. So when you do the speaking test for Galax, you can see that if the student has 20, maximum 20 point for speaking and writing, we give them Sun Foundations. Yeah. They only pass Sun Foundations when they have from 21. Yeah. And there is a note. If the speaking test of Galax student is too low, we still give them the writing test. So this one is different than the Sun student. In Galax secondary, if they cannot answer anything, we still give them writing test teachers. So why do we do that? Because in Galax, about their characteristic and about the learning, how they learn in the public school, they don't focus too much on speaking. They focus on grammar, reading, vocabulary. So I believe that if they cannot do the speaking test well, they still have ability to do the writing test with the grammar and the vocabulary. Yeah. So for the durations in the speaking test, we still give them 10 minutes. But for the writing test, we give them half an hour because it's much more longer than usual there. For Sun, we just give them 15 minutes. For Galax, we give them half an hour. Yeah. So this is the pictures. And teachers, from now, we just have one Galax test only. Before, we designed two Galax tests, two versions. But now, there is only one version for Galax student. Please note. This is the questions. Yeah. This is the question, and you can see the questions for Galax student is quite different. So you can see here, when we give them some personal expression questions, I just tell them to tell me about. I don't say how many people in your family. I tell them to say that, like, tell me about your family. And we also have the backup question. If you say, tell me about your family, but they don't know, we have some backup question under it, below it. Yeah. And the last part, personal thinking. This one is for the pictures. And you can see that I need them to explain why they say that. Like, do you think beach holidays are fun? If the students say, yes, I think it's fun, they need to say why do they think it's fun. It's not only about it's fun or not. So it's more challenge for the Galaxy student at this part. Yeah. And for this one, I follow the CAT speaking exam from Cambridge. Yeah. Thank you. And then the same teachers, after that, you will write down the command for the student, please. You don't need to wait for the writing result. You can base on speaking result to write commands. Yeah, thank you. So that is about the Galaxy test. The pictures, the instructions. Okay. So now we will talk about the last part here. It's about the placement test. So for the Vietnamese student, you know, when they come to army or when they come to our school, they often feel scared because they never seen the foreign teachers before, and when they come to army, they look at you like someone very they never see before. They will feel scared. So when we do the speaking test with them, we need to interact with them step by step. Don't push them and don't ask them immediately. And here we have 4 steps in our procedures here. So the first step is the greeting. So please help me to make fun with them first. Don't show them the test at the beginning. Make fun with them. You can high five with them. You can do something with them, smile. And then after that, we will tell them that we are going to do the test. And then we do the test here. So please remember, during the test, we follow the regulations and use the correct placement test. So in test, please remember, we don't use translation method. We don't say, this one in Vietnamese là gì? No, because I know that some foreign teachers, they can speak Vietnamese and they often support for a Vietnamese student by Vietnamese. But please note that we are doing the evaluation in English. So if they cannot answer in English, we don't support them in Vietnamese, okay? We use English only and don't wait for them too long. If you give them one question and they just be quiet, don't push them to say like, what's your name? And I just quiet. What is your name? Do you have a name? Name? Do you know name? Something like that. They don't know. Because if they know, they will answer you. So for my point of view, we just wait for the student maximum 5 seconds for one question. We don't wait for too long. And if we wait after 5 seconds, we skip that question and we go to the next one. Yeah. And also in my experience, teachers, we have many questions in the list. But for some students, you don't need to ask all of this because when you can see, it will become harder and harder. For some weak student, I think we can stop at warm up to know that level. Sometimes like that. Yeah. So for the third part is understanding. So in this part, there are something, three cases happen during the test. If the test is suitable for the student, you keep going, follow the questions. But if the test is too hard and too easy, what should we do? So when you give them questions and you feel that it's too hard for the student, I recommend you to stop testing. Like, we know the level already. We don't need to test them anymore. So we stop the test and we change to teaching. So we need to make them fun. We don't want them to be scared. So if we rely that they know nothing, they cannot not answer anything, I need you to help me to open the pictures here, and you point to some object and they can repeat what you say. When they repeat that, please have me to give them high five. Please give them to encourage them motivation word like hooray, very good when they repeat you. So we don't test them anymore. We just tell them to repeat. Yeah. So that is about which student if it's too hard. Now, what happens if you have good student in the speaking test? It's too easy for you. So I need you to use some advanced questions. For example, teachers, if I have a good student in some programs and I have to ask like, what is your favorite food? I can give them other questions like, why do you like it? Or how often do you eat it? So with the same topic, I give them extra questions so they can feel more challenged in my speaking test. Okay? So that is about the understanding part. And next one is the last part, is the marking. So we summarize the result. So you check out your note, your marking, and you write down the comments and the suitable level. After that, please have me to give it to the class managers or the centers, and the placement test is done. Yeah. So the most important part I recommend teacher is part 1 and part 3. Yeah. Don't make them scared at the beginning, and please be flexible during the test. Yeah. So that is about the placement test I want to share with you guys today. Do you guys have any questions, or do you have any part you want me to explain again? For some new teachers, yeah, thank you, Teacher Sam. For new teachers like Teacher Valeria or Teacher Lisa, for some new teacher in Army, yeah, do you have any questions?
All clear, Mr. Harry.
Yeah, thank you.
Clear, thank you.
Yeah, and for some teachers who work in Army for TAM with the new test like this, do you have any questions? Teacher Chadia, maybe?
No, it's all clear, thank you.
Yeah, and Teacher Hasna and Teacher Dimitro from Funing. Okay, yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, so for the test materials, the school, they will print the new versions from June. And I hope that from June, when you have the new student teachers, I need you guys to follow the regulations, okay? And for the program too. Yeah, thank you. So that is what I want to share with you today, teachers, about our update and about our placement test. Now, after the training, what are we going to have? So in my in the paper from the head office, this Thursday, we are going to have a test. There are two test teachers. The first one is about the materials. That is what I share with you today. The second test is about the lesson structures. Each test will be in half an hour. The time for the test will be from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And this test will be made at school. The test result will be sent to the directors, and it will be information for the directors so they can have the performance reviews for all the teachers in Army. So after the training, my assistant will send you more details about the test. Okay? So if we don't have any more questions, I think we can finish the training today. And once again, I really appreciate your time and your attendance because I know that some teachers today, you come to Army to join the training, and I really appreciate that. So I hope that on this Thursday you can come back and we will do the test. Okay?
Thank you,
You'll be
Mr.
sure.
Hari.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hari.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
all the
Hari.
teachers. Thank you.
Thank
And
you. Have a good
same.
day.
Thank you. Have a good day, teacher.
Have a
Yeah.
lovely
Thank you.
day,
Bye-bye.
Hari. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day, Hari. Goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone.